the sound. Steel wheels and steel rails.
Good evening, everybody. It is the 12th of February, 2021. A chilly night outside. It's about 8 degrees below zero right now, and it's going down. So I'm in here working on the 2x3 foot railroad because why not? And big announcement to make on this. This is no longer a nameless railroad. It's all, of course, it's known as a 2x3. But it has an official name now. This is the Hammer Valley. This whole area, this town, is called Hammer Valley. And this track that runs along the front here is the connection to the main line. This is the Algoma-Cassville system, the ACS, the model train that I've been working on for many, many, many years. So that's the connection to the outside world right there. So this is the Hammer Valley layout, Hammer Valley Railroad, Railway, whichever way you want to call it. And it's Hammer Valley. And you'll also notice another thing missing on here is the monstrosity I had in here with the tunnel through it and stuff like that. I've kind of done away with it. It may come back, it may not. It may come back in a diminished form, or I may just completely eliminate it completely off the layout. Because I was having issues with it. The longer cars, like say this box car here, anything over a 40-foot car was hitting on the walls in there. I have a very tight radius running through. It's a 9 3/4 inch radius, so it's very, very tight radius running through here. And I was having problems with the longer cars hitting the sides of the tunnel, and they derail inside the tunnel and they tip over and just cause all kinds of mess. As you saw in the last video on this, it happened right on camera. So right now I kind of like the way this looks without the tunnel on it. You know, I like this little building. This building's not going to stay here. This is part of a diorama that I'm working on, a different project completely. But what I am going to do is back in the corner there, I am going to build that up to about the same level as this road here, so I have a little bridge back in there. So I think that'll look pretty cool to get that going. And so yeah, as you can see, I've got a train sitting on the siding here. This track right here is an interesting track. This can be several different tracks all kind of wrapped up in one. It's a siding, it is an exchange track, it is a runaround track, and a storage track, all wrapped up in one track. But that's the whole design behind this. The thought being that a mainline train come along the ACS, they got a couple of cars to drop off for Hammer Valley. They're going to disconnect from their train, run up here, back the train up, and run the cars onto the siding over here. That's the exchange track at that point. And then this train's going to hook back on, or the locomotive's going to hook back on this train and continue on its merry way down the line. Then our local train's going to come out and switch the industries using cars off of the siding. One more thing I want to point out on the layout, and you might see it in the corner of the camera, maybe not, let me pan it off to the right just a little bit here. The downtown area is dramatically different from what you guys remember it. If you remember right along the front here, I used to have the buildings all kind of lined up in a row along the front of the sidewalk here. Well, the other night, I was playing around in here, I decided I wanted to glue the sidewalk in. So I just kind of shoved the buildings back out of the way. And they just kind of landed in a manner similar to that. And I was looking at that saying, you know, there's a possibility there. So tonight I came in here and I cut out a little piece of sidewalk to lay down in a kind of a quarter circle way. And nothing's glued down here yet. Everything's just kind of sitting there. But to set the buildings up in a quarter round like that and have a little playground or a park area in the middle here, I like it. I quite like the way that worked out. So that's going to be very cool. And over here, by this building here, this is going to be a little parking area right in here. Cars park up in there. And this road here is going to connect and run back behind to a yet-to-be-disclosed industry behind the downtown buildings. I'm thinking maybe a small grain mill or a fuel depot of some kind in there, you know, for fuel oil and stuff like that. So overall, I like the way things are working out on this. It's the layout's looking pretty decent. Now, one other thing I did do, and let me see if I can get the camera to pan down. Come on, camera guy. Pan in there. There we go. Something like that. Remember I was mentioning something about uncoupling magnets. Well, I've got a few of them in here now. I've got one right there. I've got one right there. And another one over here that's just off camera. So the camera, I got to come over here right there. So I got 3 uncoupling magnets in here. And I just got a couple stick pins in there right now to kind of remind me where they are. And they're pretty cool. You can actually switch cars, couple them and uncouple them without actually touching the cars. All right, so we're going to run this train out and switch out the industry over here. There we go. Helps go the right direction. And yes, I do realize those are grain cars on there, but you will notice that I have the RS3 going in the proper direction this time. So it's running long hood forward the way they're supposed to run. And yes, another thing I do realize, those are grain cars on here, but we're going to pretend those are sawdust cars. I'm going to back them into the, you have to imagine the Hammer Valley buildings in there and stuff, so you have to use a lot of imagination on this. So we're going to back these in here. And the two yellow cars, I'm going to back in here and disconnect those and put them on the siding. All right, so they've uncoupled there. I went beyond the magnet, so I'll try that again. Recouple them, pull them back up. There's a reason why I want to get them in a specific position on here. Back up just a touch, pull them ahead. They will not decouple. There we go. Now they're in delayed coupling mode, or uncoupling mode, so I can push them back into their location back there and pull the train away and leave the cars behind. I did not have to touch those cars. The only time you need to see the giant hand in there is when it's time to flip the turnout. So then we're going to picture this. Time goes by, time's going by, time's going by, and a couple days later these sawdust cars are full, and there's their giant hand coming in here to flip the switch again. And here we go. Back the train into there, and we're going to connectify onto the cars like that. And we've reached a point where we want to leave the two yellow cars on now who's becoming the exchange track. So we'll stop the train. We're going to throw the giant hand in here once again. Throw that turnout. We got the delayed action magmatic coupler going here. And we're going to stop these cars just at the right point to decouple. I think I lost the magnet. I can't see it. It's there it is. Right in front of you guys. Okay, now we're delayed uncoupling. And we'll just push the cars back into clear so they're not following the turnout. That should be good. And we'll pull the rest of the train away once again and call it good. So that's kind of a little demonstration how the magmatic delayed uncoupling operates. I think it's pretty cool being able to just back the train in there and not have to touch the train itself. They still have to have the giant hand in there to flip the turnouts, but it's pretty doggone cool. So there's the latest on the Hammer Valley Railway. Friday evening, 12th of February, 2021. Anyway, that's it. I will talk to you guys again real soon here. And as always, of course, until we talk again, whatever it is in life you do, keep on doing what it is you do.